Good evening. It's been a quiet week of weather and that settled spell continues through this weekend with some fog problems and some frost as well. And it will turn chillier, especially for England and Wales, but the high pressure keeps things dry. However, because our winds circulate high pressure in a clockwise direction, we're still going to be picking up that cold air that's evident here across many parts of Central Europe. And that colder air, slightly colder than what we've seen this week ourselves, is heading our way. So temperatures won't be quite as high, especially for England and Wales. To the north and west, we've still had this weak weather front through the day. That's pushing northwards, but the breeze should alleviate too many frost and fog problems in the far north and west overnight. Elsewhere, the cloud comes and goes. There could be a little bit of patchy fog around, and it's thin, the cloud, so I still think it's going to be cold. In fact, colder to start tomorrow morning than it was this morning, so more frost around potentially. Some patchy fog as well, which obviously reduces the visibility, but perhaps with a little bit more breeze in the west, we might see that breaking the cloud up a little bit more than we've seen today. So dry and bright for many, still relatively mild in the north and west, but for many of England and Wales, eastern Scotland, it's colder. Temperatures fall to about 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, and that process of pulling in the chillier air continues through tomorrow night with misty low cloud and perhaps more fog around, but also potentially more frost as well as it gets colder. The air gets colder, so we'll see more frost around even further north across parts of Scotland. Further west for Northern Ireland and Western Scotland, we've got the approach of this weather front for Sunday. That's the other subtle change. So perhaps a bit more fog around, as I've mentioned, which could be quite dense and linger in places all day. Out west, we've got this weather front coming in, which is a fairly slow process, but it will increase the cloud more for Northern Ireland, for Western Scotland, and bring us some rain by the end of play. To the east of that, some spells of sunshine, possibly elsewhere for England and Wales, but even colder. Obviously, we're getting off to a colder start as well, but just 3 or 4 in some areas potentially, and even colder where the fog lingers. Now, that weather front does push eastwards on Monday and perhaps scoops away some misty low cloud for a time, but not for long, because the high pressure then returns with some misty and foggy issues again as we go into Tuesday. It's by the end of the week that it starts to turn more unsettled. There's more online.